Hello, and welcome to 20 Lore Pro, a community of Lorcana players who enjoy deck building, competing, and opening Lorcana product. You can find out more at our Discord community, 20lorepro/Discord, link in the description. We have tons of upcoming events, deck lists, and deck discussions. In today's video, we'll be watching Evolutions Trading Lorcana 1K Round 4. Julius piloting Sapphire Amber versus Augustus piloting Ruby Amethyst. Wish our competitors luck and enjoy the video.
5 here at Evolutions Trading in Killeen, Texas. I want to thank y'all so much for joining us here on Twitch as we enter into round 4. We see Julius playing against Augustus. Julius piloting a Amber Sapphire list against Augustus piloting a Ruby Amethyst list. That last match took just a little bit of time and they were able to go straight into round 4. So we are here in round 4 of 5 at Evolutions Trading. We want to thank y'all over at Twitch for joining us today here at 20 Lore Pro. If you missed any of the rounds, you can head on over to YouTube after the tournament. Later on this week, we will post all the videos for you to see. Here we are in round 4, Julius playing Amber Sapphire, playing Pluto on turn 1. Pluto just being one of the strongest cards added from into the Inklands, just able to make your characters cost 1 less, able to have more cards on the board that much quicker. We see Julius protecting that Pluto with a bodyguard Simba, followed up by the Queen. Augustus inking. Didn't have any early plays from Augustus, giving Julius the ability to play a jump ahead and put a card into his inkwell. Passing the turn over to Augustus, who plays his to draw a card. I'm sorry, Maleficent to draw a card, inking a Merlin. Julius now having 4 cards in his inkwell is able to quest for so much and draw cards. He forgot to reveal his inked card, but it is a Rapunzel. Followed up by a Clocksworth. Now this Clocksworth being a strong card here, giving other characters resist. He is a strong 5-drop in the Sapphire color wheel. Augustus playing a Merlin Crab, trying to get some characters on the board to stick. Really trying to find a way to deal with Julius's quick and fast-growing board state. Cogsworth here having 2 of them now on the board. Cogsworth just being such a strong card here, able to protect Julius's board. Cogsworth, here he is up on the board for you to see. Grandfather Clock. He's got Shift. He's got Ward himself. But he gives all of your characters the ability to have Resist 1. Meaning that each of those Cogsworth on the board now have Resist 1 themselves with Ward, as well as having a 2/5 body and the ability to quest for 2. Both of Julius's cards or characters that aren't Cogsworth now having 2 resist. It almost seems like the dream to have is the ability to just have 2 Cogsworth board. Julius playing a Be Prepared. I'm sorry, not Be Prepared, a Bare Necessities, finding a Be Prepared. Bare Necessities According to R&B, Jeeves, and Wonderland from the 20 lore community, Bare Necessities being one of the strongest cards from Into the Inklands, and many players would agree that you're able to look at your opponent's hand and discard a non-character card of your choice. Be prepared in this situation, being a strong card to take care of two of Julius's Cogsworths. Not able to do so now due to that Bare Necessities. Augustus deciding to get rid of that Pluto, which is making characters cost one less. Plays a Maleficent that he had bounced with the Madame Mim Fox to draw a card. It appears that Julius is top decking at this point, but he's got so many cards on the board that it may not seem like the worst thing to him. Doesn't seem like it's had too much of an effect. Both players being 2-1 in this tournament right now. And there goes Augustus finding the Be Prepared. We have a Mufasa trigger on stack, revealing a Rapunzel. One of the strong things about Mufasa is that even when he is banished due to Be Prepared, he is still able to get his trigger off after he is banished, revealing a card from the top of your library. Augustus with a Lady Tremaine, right after playing a Be Prepared, really resembling competitive play during set 2. Julius just trying to go up as fast as he can on lore, utilizing anything he can to protect his Rapunzel from that Lady Tremaine that Augustus had bounced last turn using that Madame Mim snake. Julius being at 17 lore, just needing to find a couple of outs in order to win this game, trying to use the Rapunzel to the best of his ability to quest for 2 every turn. Rapunzel having a 5 defense, really strong against a lot of cards. Corsair, want to appreciate you subscribing to us for 4 months. Thank you so much for all the kudos. Appreciate you coming out and watching today here with 20 Lore Pro at Evolutions Trading. Augustus double bouncing the Madame Mim Fox. That way he could double challenge and take care of the Rapunzel. Julius top decking, opting not to quest with the Pluto. That way he can possibly have the cards to win in 1 turn. Augustus, having found that Be Prepared earlier in the game, we knew he had that Tremaine to get rid of 1 card. Julius having another character on board. Plays a Merlin Rabbit to draw a card. We see Augustus trying to stabilize with board control and presence. Julius counting his banish pile, possibly for a big Chernobog. Are we going to see? And that is correct. He plays a huge 3-quester 9/9 Chernobog. A new addition into Amber. A lot of these aggro decks that are into the Inklands, we see Chernobog with an astounding 10 cost, able to be reduced by so much due to the cards that you have in your bash pile and putting them back into your deck. Julius opting to quest, knowing that he's got this 3-quester Chernobog. It is banished due to Dragonfire. A lot of these Ruby Amethyst players opting to play Dragonfire, knowing that Chernobog is a problem character that they cannot take care of easily. Julius, having shuffled so many of his characters back into his deck, now has the ability to find them again, hopefully, in order to play them and get more lore on the board. Augustus really establishing his board state at this time, trying to bounce and play as many as he can. Playing a Merlin goat and a Merlin rabbit, drawing a card and getting him a lore. We see Augustus really having so many characters that he's turning sideways to quest, trying to gain as much as he can. Catching up to Julius is 18. Will Augustus keep Julius from gaining any more lore to win this game? Julius coming so close to the end here at 20. Julius playing a Grandma Tala, the 1-drop one. The one that goes into your inkwell when it is banished. Augustus having the ability to quest for so much this turn. Uses a Maleficent Dragon just to get rid of it. When it's banished, it goes into the inkwell instead of the discard pile, as Julius just did. Augustus really balancing out here, questing for a ton of lore. Up to 16. Excuse me, 17. Can Julius find a way to find some quick lore this turn? And he can't. Julius stabilizing. Able to quest up past 20 and take game 1. Well, Augustus really showing the power of Ruby Amethyst still, including with all the updates from Into the Inklands. Into round 4, game 2, Augustus piloting Amethyst Ruby versus Julius piloting Amber Sapphire. Julius, very accustomed to game 1, plays a turn 1 Pluto. Augustus matching that turn 1 Pluto with his own turn 1 Minnie Mouse, trying to find a way to keep him from gaining too much lore early like he did last time. Seeing another turn 2 Simba into another Pluto. Now that we see 2 Plutos on the board, next turn, having 3 ink in Julius's inkwell next turn, he can play a 5-drop character on turn 3. That is, if Augustin has anything to say about it, playing a Teeth and Ambition, getting rid of 1 of those Pluto. Really shows the power of Teeth and Ambition in these cards from the Ruby Amethyst deck. We see Julius trying to jump ahead and get more cards into his inkwell, singing it with the Simba. Cards like Jump Ahead and the Fishbone Quill really utilized by these Sapphire players to try to get cards into their inkwell. There's a Mickey Mouse Detective, another card that gives you cards in your inkwell, and another character that lowers the cost of the huge Turnabog that we saw from Julius in game 1. Augustus with a Madame Fox trying to get rid of some of these protective characters like Simba. That way he can get to the meat of what Julius is playing. Julius uses that little tiny Minnie Mouse Detective to finish off that Madame Fox that's been damaged from banishing that Simba. Cogsworth coming down, giving Pluto resist 1. Cogsworth himself having ward, meaning that if Augustus wants to get rid of this Cogsworth, he's going to have to use a Be Prepared or a Lady Tremaine with nothing else on board. Julius playing a second Pluto. Trying to think of if he wants to quest or not, opting to use his Cogsworth to quest as well as his Pluto. Going up to 4 lore. Julius appearing to have no cards in hand. Staring at Augustus, who has 4 to 5 cards. Really coming down to top decks and trying to find ways to get out of this. Augustus having the resources to try to dig as far as he can to find them. Augustus choosing to challenge and bouncing back. Getting a lore. Augustus trying to find a way to get rid of this Cogsworth. Doing a ton of damage with the goat, though. We see Julius having a Bare Necessities. Almost couldn't see it, but the Bare Necessities took out Augustus's Be Prepared, which would have been a major solution to the board state that Julius is presenting. Bare Necessities being one of the strongest cards introduced into Amber from Into the Inklands, allows you to look at your opponent's hand and discard a non-character card. Madam M Snake cleaning up that Cogsworth that Julius had chose to quest with. Utilizing Maleficent and these little cards that Augustus has to try to get rid of and clean up Julius's board. Augustus playing as many small characters as he can, no matter who they are. That way he has good challengers for Julius's board. So many of Julius's characters being low toughness characters. Playing a Simba bodyguard and quests up. Going to 13 lore. Augustus cleaning up as much as he can from Julius's board. Julius separating his piles from which characters are in his banished pile that are characters versus actions and songs. Most likely trying to find out how cheap a Chernobog is going to be. Julius with a popsicle able to draw while also taking away damage. Looking at the board state right now, Augustus really has a large control over this match, able to draw and continue to quest while leaving Julius with top decking. I believe Julius has 1 card in hand while Augustus has 4 to 5. I apologize, he has 3. Julius using all of his ink to cast. I have not seen this card from set 3. I'll have to look it up, put it on the board for y'all to see. Augustus is playing a Merlin Rabbit, really having the ability to just draw and gain as many resources as he can to try to take control of this board state. Julius having played this Kite Cloud Kicker. It's got Shift 3 as well as Ward 2/5 Body, able to quest for 3. Quite a strong card, especially being a 17 now. Augustus inks a Maui. Most likely signaling that he has something prepared for this Cloud Kicker. Augustus counting up his ink well. You see a Hades come down on Julius' side of the board. Hades is able to take care of one of Augustus's characters, and also being a Mr. for 2. Here's that damage coming on the Cloud Kicker and getting rid of him. Julius trying to target a removal some of these characters that are really gonna give Julius the edge to try to win. Finishes it off with a Maleficent Dragon. This monstrous dragon just being such a strong card for cards, especially that don't have a ward. We see Augustus being at 14 lore now, having the ability to quest for 4 more next turn, unless Julius has something to say. Plays a Minnie Mouse, which now becomes very relevant due to its ability to quest. Julius top decks the Queen. Augustus using the Dragon Fire, not allowing Julius to have any questing power, going up to 19. And it looks like that's game here in round 4, Augustus versus Julius. Augustus having gotten game 1, now having enough lore on board to get 20, and that is the match. Augustus here really following the tempo that we see from Ruby Amethyst, really trying to utilize strong characters to take care of the bodyguards on Julius' side of the board, as well as continue to draw cards. What a great match we saw here from Augustus and Julius. Ruby Amethyst versus Amber Sapphire. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in today to Evolutions Trading 1K Lorcana tournament, the first for set 3s into the Inklands. I'm your announcer, SirAshtown. Behind the scenes, our producer, Luxsack. We want to thank you for joining. If you missed any of the rounds, head on over to the 20 Lore YouTube later on this week, where we'll have all of these rounds posted for your viewing pleasure. On March 17th, 20 Lore will be at Hunter Burden Memorial, where we will be streaming the Hunter Burden Memorial Lorcana Championship. It will be a 2K tournament in Dallas, Texas, all for suicide awareness, a charity. We want to thank you for joining us here today. Feel free to subscribe for more and follow us for notifications. Appreciate y'all tuning into Twitch. Thank you.